Oh lord. Oh god.
We just add a layer every season, man.
We add a layer every season. Okay, let me move this over. Hello everybody. Today we have a very special account review for you guys. We have 3 times Arena Hall of Fame legend player Lusira. His profile pic is on my screen right now. If you don't understand,
honey.
to be perfectly honest, I don't really understand either. It looks like a demonic summoning circle. How you doing today, Lucy?
What's up? Thanks for having me. It's just it's me in the middle and then my 3 frames.
My 3 frames. Yeah, so I remember the first season, it's you had the middle one, and then you added the second layer, and now we were adding the 3rd layer, yes?
Yeah, but that 3rd layer is so ugly, man.
Oh, so you don't even like the frame, it's just we did this for the achievement.
Yeah, by like week 8, I looked back at it again, and I was like, what am I doing?
Oh no. Oh, I mean, it'd be like that, right? But like, you know, Arena Hall of Fame, I think that's no slouch. For those of you guys that are new to Arena or new to PvP, if you go down the Hall of Fame tab in Arena, you'll see that there's this Lusira fellow here and then here. And once this new season refreshes in about 3 to 4 weeks, your name should be up there, but it's not the same name, is it?
No.
Okay.
And I'm kind of...
Yeah. I guess I'll explain this
my
name.
God.
I'll explain this name. So what happened was, one morning I woke up, right? And I'm going through my DMs, and one of the DMs was Lucy hitting me up. He was like, "Hey Val, do you know any funny Chinese copy pastas I can change my name to for the 3rd season? Because I want to do something stupid." So I was like, "Yo, bet." I have this idea, right? Where it was like, 早上好中国现在我有冰淇淋 the John Cena coffee pasta, right? So I'm like, go ahead and use that one. I made sure the name was open too. And he was like, oh, really? I was like, yo, bet. And then, so I clear my DMs, right? I get out of bed, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm on the toilet. And Lucy's like, yo, Bumba said you misspelled it. And I'm like, oh, really? Let me check. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I just woke up. So I didn't proofread it or anything. I just, I use a swipe keyboard too. So, I usually have a lot of typos and everything. So I'm like, yeah, so this is the way you spell it. He's like, too late. I already changed it. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm at work. I'm bored. So I just slammed the name. So now we're stuck with the misspelled name at the end of the season that's going into the Hall of Fame. So, yo, my bad, Lucy.
It's not going in. It's not going in.
It's not going in? Okay,
no,
God
it's not
bless.
going in. But it literally took Bumba like not even 10 minutes to notice.
Yeah, and then the rest of the guild noticed, and I'm somehow the villain. Like, I'm sorry, bro. It was real. I just woke up, okay? Like, me sending that line of text to you was like within 90 seconds of me waking up, okay? That's my excuse.
I think it's super funny.
That's my excuse. I don't have a better reason. Oh god. But yeah. Oh man. I for the people that like don't do Arena, like what would you say like the hardest part of doing Hall of Fame pushes? Like, is it like having the gear, coming up with the teams, or is it every Sunday because of how Arena cutoff works, right? You have to like basically you're stuck playing for 12 weeks, right? Like, what do you think's the hardest part of that process?
It's definitely the motivation. Like people just boom all the time. But like week 4 or 5, everyone's just super drained, and just muscling through that is just all it is. Like you could ask like Snitch You and all of them,
Right.
like all these people that have tried like 3, 4, 5 times. You just got to keep going, and eventually it'll happen.
Yeah, and then your name is basically in here for the entirety of the 10-year plan. And I think you're the first person to be up here 3 times, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely took a lot of dedication. I know personally, because every single Sunday you're stuck. You are literally not allowed to do anything else.
It's only because I was going for 1 though. If you're going for 2 or 3, you can take it pretty easy, not gonna lie.
Wait, really? So it's like you don't have to pace as tightly, you can end up second for a season, stuff like that?
Yeah, so this season was a little different because for whatever reason, the 2 people I was going with wanted to keep pushing like the whole night. But a lot of the times in like the other seasons, we would all be done like 5-6 hours left to go. So
Okay.
it would actually be pretty chill.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, because I know personally, like, when you came to visit during Anime Expo and there was a concert going on and everything, like,
Let's
that
not
was
talk
on a
about
Sunday. Do you want to talk about that one?
Let's not talk about it.
Let's not talk about it.
Let's just say that the opening acts were kind of boring, so it was fine.
It was fine. What was it? I mean, there was other stuff, right? Like when you were at, you can see him in chat right now if you're watching from YouTube. Our friend Bumbalicious. I know Lusira was at his wedding on a Sunday. Yeah, was that factual? Can either one of you guys confirm that?
I actually got permission from Bumba to play at his wedding, but I did not, so I have some self-respect left.
Yo, I respect it. I respect it. You gotta keep.
I like
the
stayed up
hustle.
the night before and just pushed like the entire morning.
Oh my god, that's pretty built different. Oh god.
Yeah, I have it in writing, Bumba. Do not even.
I have it in writing. Oh my god. That's wild. Do you think that before we go into the units, right? Do you think there's anything on your account that you want to like flex or you think is really important we should look at?
Not really. I think my account's pretty standard.
Okay. Okay, standard for an arena player, right? Because I think one of the common things now is a lot of the endgame PvP now is focused around RTA and structuring an account, for RTA with a bunch of different playstyles. But for arena, I think there's a very cookie cutter way to build your account, right?
Yeah, it's a lot less gear score intensive. It's just about making stats work. Like, you don't care if it's 60, if like it has like 40 F on it or something like that. It's a lot of random stuff that people don't keep.
Okay, gotcha. That being said, you think we should just jump into it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So
CP.
things are gonna look weird.
Things are gonna look weird. I can see that.
Either or.
Okay. Either or. So if we're gonna do that, let's just go through by speed then, right? Because I think for arena players, you kind of have to play cleave. If you're not a cleaver, I don't think there is a chance for you to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, you have to be able to pull out some type of cleave to a capacity, right?
Snitchu proved that to be wrong, but like I think that's an extreme outlier, and I think that season there wasn't a lot of people actually pushing either. So I would say probably, yeah.
But yeah, like I think for most people that holds true, right? Snitchu particular is an exception.
Everybody else, yeah.
Everybody else, yeah. But I think Snitchu's different, right? Because he wins through defense. Like, Snitchu gets way more defense wins than almost everyone else because Snitchu's like HP gear, his tank gear is just so unbelievably tanky. His units don't die. Straze can't kill anything. If I understand that correctly.
A lot of my like damage calcs and stuff are just based on whatever Snitchu's units are. Because if he can kill Snitchu's units, he can kill everyone else.
That's what's up, right? Okay, so yeah, if you're also looking to be up here, make sure your account can cleave, and if you can't cleave, you need a really, really good defense team. Your units need to not be able to die. It needs to be some of the best. So if you don't have the best speed gear, you best have the best tank gear, right? Either one or the other. Having specialized gear is, mwah. That's the good stuff. That's what you need.
Exactly.
All right, perfect. So as a cleaver, let's kind of take an overall look at your speed, right? And, I think the average person watching this review, this is going to look pretty fast, right? And I would say, like, if you were to just give this an overview, this is pretty damn fast, right?
Yeah, there's a couple things I would like improved, but I think this spread is almost perfect. Just obviously a couple more like pentas would be good, but
right,
it's not realistic.
Yeah, 310 ran Peira, that's like the legend gold standard. 307 Pavel's on the faster side. 300 Lilias a bit on the slower side. I would say what makes your account stand out to me personally is the 300 Flid, 300 Ahmed, and then I think a 280 Celine, right? That's kind of like freakish to me. Yeah, also, like, periodically, if you see a question in chat, if it interests you enough, feel free to answer it. So someone says 2 A lots. I'm assuming a PvP and PvE?
No, one is tuned for a specific offense. The Lilias Flan A-Lots BBK. You need an A-Lots that's slower than Flan, so you can boost her back up so she can give the crit damage buff. And then the other one is just there's like very rare times where a mid is bad into like the new Luluca.
Right.
So you need a bigger push to like cut with like Opsig or something.
Ah, so this one's tuned to the Flan. This one's just to play a slightly different composition.
Yep.
Okay, my man's prepared. And then we're 5 and 6 star just to differentiate them pretty easily.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, that being said, let's look at the gear. So, those are the 310 Peira. Looks like...
So, yeah, Peira and Ran, they aren't really used that much anymore. So, like, there's no F obviously on these units right now. Like, it looks kind of scuffed, but like it's just used so infrequently that I couldn't justify putting anything better on.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. And then, I'm assuming she's just on a crit chance neck because it's a natural Commander Pavel activator?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Oh, Ran, not used as much, so this is like basically fate gear, right?
Ran is literally only used when I can soul burn him, so I don't even know why I give him F.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then this is like a kind of a trend I noticed, right? So we have a classification of like real Rans versus fake Rans. This particular build you have right now being a fake Ran, and then a real Ran being something more akin to... I'll show on my screen. For anybody at home that's watching, this is a Ran that's like what people would consider a real Ran, right? 310 speed, and you got the crit, you got the damage. I would say if you're at home, this Ran only works for you, like Lusira said. If you are a cleaver, you can soul burn him, and you know you're bringing in the rest of the combo. Otherwise, I don't think Ran is a unit that's worth building unless you can build like, you know, fast with damage just to kind of pressure your opponents.
Yeah, I basically just kept him in because like a season ago he was super strong with that like Ran Ada combo, but it fell off, so I was just waiting to see if it would ever come back.
Gotcha. And then we got Pavel next. This is on some pretty premium gear, I can tell already. I'm assuming he's used a lot.
Yeah, so this is like what I would use for my like DPS Ran set if I was gonna play it like that. And this guy, it really depends on the meta. There are like surprisingly a lot of like just like Lilias with no belly comps, stuff like that you can still Pavel seed on. It really depends on the meta though. Like Eye Celine pops up a lot from time to time, stuff like that.
Gotcha. So, what do you avoid like when you're playing this? Just avoid Bellion.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the moment there's no Bellion, you know it's a Pavel comp.
Not necessarily, but most of the time.
Okay, cool. 300 speed flat Conqueror Lilias. We have 150 F with an F ring and Circus Fantasia to give her another 40. So close to 200.
Yeah, I honestly think you can just drop it to 100 and just increase the speed at this point. I was having this issue where I was trying to run like a 250, 200F, but it was just like cutting my speed like, drastically. And the issue I was having was that there are just some Destinas that are like 350, 400 ER in Arena. So I was having a hard time finding a balance of like how high do I really want to go to try to hit those Destinas, or do I just want to say, you know, screw it and just not hit them at all. So I just kind of decided on this because I wanted to speed contest like other Liliases with an imprint.
Okay, gotcha. And then the cookie cutter comp, as you mentioned earlier, that you can play with the Sea Lilias is high effectiveness Sea Lilias, blue Flan auxiliary lots into a high damage BBK.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. 300 speed Ahmed. We don't have ER, so definitely not an RTA build. This is just completely for the speed. We got no bulk, no ER, no effectiveness, no nothing. Just for the push.
Yep. So I swap my Flitica and a mid's rings a lot. It's a 3-speed difference. It just depends on the week. Both openers are extremely good. They're easily the best 2 openers in the game right now for Arena. And it just depends what's popular like at that moment. Whether or not I can use the mid's non-attack skills. Like if there's a lot of poly or a lot of well, I guess Luluca now. Easily, like throughout the season, though, they're used probably an equal amount.
Do you think Green Luluca, as an arena defense unit, has been a problem, or has she just been more, she's been like helpful? Because like, you know, I understand there's only 4 units you could put on a defense, so if they have a Green Luluca, they have to cut something else out. Do you find it helps you more or it hurts you more?
I haven't really seen her as an issue yet, but I also haven't seen like any weird builds yet. Like I'm wondering if like something weird like a 280 Luluca with her artifact would be good, but there wasn't really enough time at the end of the last season. But I would say no. I just kind of cleave through her anyway.
Got it. Just cleave through her anyway. Okay, cool. And I think this is what really impressed me: the 300 speed Faithless Lidica.
Yeah, it's no F, which kind of sucks, but I found that you don't really need F for arena either. There's too many things that like you would think you could reset and then suddenly have like 300 DR, you know, just for no reason. So I just found that having as max speed is just way better than trying to force F.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. And then what compositions do you normally play her into? Like, what would be a cookie cutter comp that's like a Faithless Lidica comp?
So there's a lot of these Arwell, Adin, Bellion comps with like either like a Destina or something, and I just run Flitty, Berseria, 8 Elena, and Cavill.
Oh, okay. So that would be like the normal comp you run with this. And the moment, you know, you don't have to worry about getting outsped, these units just bring way too much value.
Yeah, Flittica, Berseria, Cavill is like, it's probably one of the best offense comps that we have right now.
Gotcha. Following the Faithless, we have a 295 speed Lua.
You can almost skip it. It's so. I use my image a lot to fake on defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I just throw random units up that, you know, I just hope that people think will like be fast or be scary. So Lua is one of them that I just kind of throw up, and I notice like whenever I put my Lua on defense, I just get hit less, even though it's 295 with no F. So
it's about playing the mind games with people then.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I do.
Okay. And then we're okay telling people this now because
it doesn't matter.
You're out the game. You're out the game. You're an RTA player now. You're coming with me, right?
Well, we'll see.
I mean, at least this should make Xander pretty happy, right? Next season, Lusira, you play RTA.
No, Lusira, no. Next season, no. You have to play RTA. No.
All right. And then following that, 284. This is our faster Aux Lots.
It's just on the spare spear gear. I put book on whenever I need it, but he doesn't get used that often, so yeah, he's just on whatever leftover.
Okay, gotcha. What would be like an example of a team comp that you would use him in?
So I've been seeing a lot of these like they just throw like Arwell, Adin, and then Luluca, and like sometimes AOL with that, and you just like boost Opsig and just kill everything.
Okay.
Celine is okay. So I made my remade some of my defense cheeses. So some of the things are gonna look a little strange.
Okay.
So this one was specifically to beat the Sea Lilias Flan team I was talking about. It did work for 1 week because a lot of the Sea Lilias cut off are like around 150 F, like mine is. Right. So you just resist the pushback and cut the Flan.
Oh, you cut the Flan, put up the immortality,
yeah,
and then you cock block the BBK. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
It's so stupid, but it works.
It's so stupid, but it works. What stopped it from working? Just people figuring out the build and then finding workarounds?
You just can't leave anything on defense for more than like a week at a time, because if you put up the same thing twice, everyone just remembers from the last week and just, you know, they just stop cleaving you with that team because they know. Right,
and this is where I think, you know, like, if you play the game, right, you know this is how it is. But for a lot of people who don't, I'm going to paint an image, and you tell me if this is correct, right? So building an arena defense at the very high legend level is like you building a really jank level in like something like, I don't know, say like Mario level builder, right? And having the other person try to jump through all the different stupid ass hoops. And if they can successfully jump through every hoop, then they get your points. But if they can't do it, then they don't. And it's generally a combination of how well you can build these traps and these defenses, these puzzles on the defense, and how well you can intuitively like sniff out what the puzzle is and solve it within, without having to scuff too much of your units, right?
Pretty much, but a lot of people end up like overthinking it and just making stuff that just gets cleaved.
I mean, you got people with a 295 speed Lua, so like having something like this, I could kind of see it. All right, that's pretty crazy though. I think definitely takes a lot of ingenuity. This is definitely one of those things that only work in arena. Okay, going on. Okay. I see where this is going.
Same thing. So the thing with Adin is I would just like put Adin in my defense, standard Adin like all day, and then like last like 3 hours I would swap to 290, 280. So that's basically what this is.
Okay, and then for the people who maybe are thinking about picking up a frame, right? There are 2 defenses you run, right? Maybe even more if you're trying to play for Hall of Fame. You got to really switch it up. But throughout the week, right, the 6 days of the week, you run like a defense that's going to outspeed most people, or it's going to RNG most people, and then last hour to like last 2 to 3 hours, you start switching it up. You start like throwing in the harder puzzles for people to solve. Like, would you say that's correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you don't like, you try to hide these units as much as you can until like the last 2 hours, and then you throw it in and you just wait for the green shields to start come rolling in.
Yep. Either that, or I've also tried like making defenses that just look scary so people don't hit them. And that actually does work a lot of the time. Or if you like you put stuff up that's too tanky, some people skip you because it takes too long to clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for that's also a meta, right? The stall meta, where you'll have these really, really tanky looking units, and if there's not an intuitive way to cleave that, usually towards what we call rush hour, right? Like the last hour to the last 90 minutes, if you don't think you can reasonably clear it fast enough, even if you can go like Dark Corvus plus 3 supports and, soul burn everything to death, but it'll take too long. You can't get points fast enough, and your defense might not hold, right? It's all about getting the fastest amount of wins as possible, and then also not dying on defense and try to outpace everybody else that you're racing against.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. All right, Savior Adin, 281 speed. We got a B-Dom, also 281 speed.
B-Dom fell off. She was really good last season because there was a lot of Lilias, but pretty much everyone's taking her off defense. She used to have like high ER and stuff, but I've just been taking her gear because she doesn't see any use.
All right, fair enough. This is the blue Flan that we have at 280 speed. Really high effectiveness. We even got Cursed Compass to at 65 effectiveness to this.
Yeah, it's about 300. I have her on not on self imprint for now. A lot of the high ER Destinas right now actually have immunity, so it kind of sucks. But I was just getting resisted by so many things at 200 that I needed to bump it up, and that Cursed Compass is ridiculous.
Oh, okay. And like with the Cursed Compass, basically this nullifies Destina's turn 1 butterfly buff, right? Like you approximately trade even.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it is exactly the same. I think it's 50-50.
It's 50-50. I think butterfly's maybe like 60, but I mean you come close, right? Like worst case scenario, you stick on your self imprint, and then suddenly you're just way over.
With the Destinas like that too, you just need to land 1 debuff if you're playing Rage BBK, because you can just kill it if you just land any debuff.
Oh, okay. And is your BBK on that right now?
Yep.
Okay, that's gonna be spicy. DJB, no artifacts.
Not used. Yeah, not used.
Okay, you can tell me like if we're just skipping stuff, but I'm assuming this sees play. This seems kind of real.
Yeah, it does. Lilias, Angelica, and Cidd do a lot of damage. Actually, like I did an account review like during the season, and I've said in that video that my Cidd killed every Bellion from full HP with Angelica buffs, and like the next day it just stopped working. So I guess everyone took my MCD and just like made their Bellions too high.
Oh no!
It was literally like the next day I was killing everything, and then the next day it stopped working.
Yeah, I mean, arena players are hungry like that, right? You take every edge you can get.
Yeah, Angelica just pops up a lot because like when you're playing arena, you're just kind of crossing units off a list. So like anything with Destina now is now like useless, right? Because it's Angelica.
Right.
So pretty much like any comp that like doesn't have AOL and doesn't have a speed threat with Destina, you can just bring Lilias, Angelica, Straze.
Okay. All right. Up next, so this is a unit that's like pretty much never seen in RTA, but I know for a fact that he's actually really solid in Arena for a handful of drafts.
I would say Haste at like the second half of this season was probably like a top 5 unit. He just like everything with AOL. So AOL Celine pops up a lot. The Spirit Eye Celine.
Yeah.
And the best way to deal with it is with the Lidica, Haste, Poly, Caval, because Haste has 2 bleeds before his Death Break. So when AOL cleanses and your Poly procs, there's still a bleed on the Celine, and you have a Death Break on everybody else.
Oh, so it passed for the defense break. On top of that, it's a unlike Blue Flan, it's a attacking skill, not a non-attacking skill. So you get around stuff like Secret R Storm Sword, Politis. You get around like ML Luluca as well, and then you just hope the defense break sticks.
Yep. And his S3 is uncounterable, so you can just like abuse Adins and stuff like that.
Right. That too. I think that was buffed like quite a while ago, and people definitely forget that. I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, he's been good like for like the last like 4 or 5 arena seasons. Just not a lot of people know the tech.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the crux here is that it does require you to have a pretty fast Faithless Lidica.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's crazy. And then after that, yeah. So that's the thing, right? A lot of units that you have are like RTA units, but you have them way faster and you have them built with effectiveness. Briar Witch Iseria as well.
Yeah, there's a couple like general rules of thumb. Like anything with a Death Break is just gonna be built with F. Like that's like pretty much all it is. Briss is usually in the exact same way Haste is, but it's only versus like Adin and Destina and stuff like that. There's actually a lot of defenses that run stuff like Arrowell, Karina, Senya, Destina, stuff like that. People that just don't have Bellion. So you can just take like Lidica, Berseria, Poly, and just soul burn the Poly with a Caval or something like that and just wipe the whole team.
Oh, and that Andre's crossbow gives us the missing hit chance and the effectiveness we need to like perfectly hit every Adin.
Mm-hmm. I use Berseria more than Haste. But for some weeks she just falls off because she doesn't go well into AOL.
Okay, gotcha. 268 speed on our Zeo, 200 effectiveness, and then a little bit of bulk, no damage. C played at all in Arena.
Yeah, a lot. 268 is because I literally, anytime I got outsped, I just went up a speed. And at 267, I was still getting outsped, so, you know. But
Okay.
yeah, F to push stuff back. He's got no damage because I was running into these issues where like I couldn't get any crit damage on him without like also having attack, right?
Right.
And if I had too much attack, if I S3'd like a Ran or something with a Karina there, it would proc the Karina. So I needed to keep lowering my attack and upping my F somehow.
Yeah,
So
in
he
RTA
just
that's
ended
an
up
issue
having no
too.
damage.
Mm-hmm. And this is just mostly to raise things that like you suspect are just too fast.
Yeah, so like that Lidica comp that I was talking about with the Poly Berseria, sometimes if like there's a speed threat, I just slot in Zeo for Poly and just soul burn it like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just to like guarantee we take the first turn so Flick can go.
Yep.
Awesome. After that, Closer Charles at 265.
Yeah, closers for a specific cleave, so there's a popular defense that's just Ran plus 3 tanks, and the way you deal with it is you take Celine, Celine kills the Ran, and then closer pushes up past Karina with a Watcher like sausage proc. And then you use closer to push up a Straze, which kills the rest of the team. He's on Warhorn because there were people that were running tank Ran, so my Celine wasn't killing.
Oh my god. Wait, that's like... That's so crazy. Like, there's so many layers of tech, right? And it requires a lot of experimentation and tuning, and then the moment it works, like, we just kind of lock it in there, and then it's going to involve a lot of tuning and testing.
Yeah, these comps are like built over the past like 6 seasons now or something.
Oh, dang, okay. And then this is the Aux Lots that we do use?
Yeah, I would want more ER in bulk, but like it's literally just about the tuning. Like, obviously, if everything goes well, then he shouldn't need the bulk and res, but yeah, he just needs to be 265 so he can cut Flan at 280 and yeah. Spirit Breath in case things go wrong.
What's usually the ER? What does the ER matchup help you win over? Is it usually like the effectiveness balls? Senya's. Oh, that's right. Okay.
So yeah, so in the cases where like you miss everything on Senya and you don't crit, then she goes, takes a turn, you can S2 with A-Lots anyway because your Spirit's Breath and have ER.
Right, okay. That makes a lot of sense. RP Flan is 260 speed, not a lot of bulk. A bit more damage than you'd expect, and 230 effectiveness, a little bit higher than usual as well.
Yeah, P Flan is just like a unit I would use during the week, like when I was bored. Like, not really used that much.
Right, mostly just because like she's not a heavy combo unit, right? You just use her. She
hate bombs.
Fun. Right.
Bombs never land.
Bombs never land. Yeah, that's an issue. But she's a fun unit, I think.
Yeah, I love her. I was using her when she got buffed.
My man. Yeah, I think if after this you're converting your account to play RTA, you're gonna be playing a lot more of her. Summertime Iseria. This is okay. So we got a little bit of bulk. A little bit slower than I expect, but we have 230F, which is about like 80 higher than an RTA build. At the cost of a little bit of attack. Talk me through this one.
Yeah, so Seaside Iseria I would actually only use when I would with Opsig, usually into Senya Karina. So like I would kill something, have Karina proc, and then kill Karina with Osig, and then use the Osig S3 to proc Iseria.
Gotcha. Okay.
She just needs, yeah, she doesn't need to be faster because I basically never use her with Ran or Peira anymore.
Right. Okay. So it's really specific. And I think that's just due to her reliability, right? If you get 15 off of your bombs or you get 15 on your strip prior, it just feels terrible.
Yeah, you would not believe how many times she misses all 3 bombs. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, 15% is what? Like, it's 1 out of 6, right? So if you low roll your dice roll, it's just dead. And then, like, this is a unit where if you miss 1 bomb, she feels terrible. And I think, like, running her with something like Opsig, where, you know, off of her S3, if there's a barrier can't be resisted, like, you guarantee the value as much as you can.
Yeah, exactly. I just hate using her with, like, Ran and stuff.
Yeah.
Baal you can skip. It's another image unit that I just kind of throw up if I'm getting cleaved a bunch. I just throw them up with Bellion and just hope for the best.
It's an image unit, gotcha. That is a pretty dirty build though. Holy moly. Oh my god.
Queric is actually unused. Like, I almost never see an opportunity to use Queric.
You use it. I'm assuming this is just like a because this looks like a standard RTA build, right? You probably just be able to use this in GVG sometimes.
Yeah, just GVG stuff like that. He's just too slow to justify using.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that would be like most of the openers and connector units. So like coming up next, you can even look down the list. There are a lot of DPS units. So in this particular case, we have 2 Straze.
Yeah, so this season, a lot of comps required the same units, so I was like artifact swapping a lot. So I just had the second Straze, so I kept it. He's used for that Celine comp with Azure Comet, the other one. And then this one I use like when I'm using Lilias, Angelica, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. Wow. And like this is just like a time play diff, right? Because like they're basically on a similar gear set. It's just different values.
Yeah, it's literally just so I don't have to swap the artifact.
Damn. And this is just to like, so you can go faster when you're in rush hour, right?
Yep, exactly.
Plus 14, plus 15 to tell the difference?
Yep.
Okay. Going down the list. Operator Sigret, this is a little bit on the faster side, lower damage. How do you find like the performance here?
This is the second one. So this one's fast just to cut Karina. Like that's really it. That's her whole job.
Oh, okay. And then, wow. Okay.
The other one I use way more than this one. I use this one maybe like 5 times a Sunday.
5 times, and then the other one you would use like roughly how many times?
Probably like 100.
100 times. So the other one is like 95% usage rate. It's like 5%.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. 250 top model Luluca. Good damage.
So she fell off super hard because of the Flan buff with her EE. So there used to be a Lilias Flan comp where a 250 Luluca would cut in between Flan push and BBK. So you would have all the def broken units there, right? So you could use Luluca to push up and kill one for free. But when they buffed Flan, it closed the gap between BBK and Flan, so there's no room to cut anymore. So I like kind of rarely use her. Like sometimes there's like a random RB or something there. So, but that's pretty much it nowadays.
So the extinction is like her basically only advantage left.
Yeah, pretty much. She's just so weird because non-attack skills kind of suck if like they don't do enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like think about like a mid, right? Doing as much as she does, then you think about Luluca. She just doesn't fit in enough areas.
Yeah, because I feel like the non-attack skills, if it isn't a win condition on its own, a lot of times units that are designed to counter that, Poly, like Green Luluca now, and sometimes I feel like with this, even Green Celine could just like put you in a pinch sometimes if you are like lower on the arena defense ladder.
Yeah, that's what ends up happening a lot is like it'll look like somewhere Luluca could work, but then there'll be like a Poly there or something, and then it can't.
Gotcha. Yeah, and like that was a lot of units, right? And this is purely speed tuning, right? Like 250, this 250 range is just chock full of damage gear.
Ada fell off too. I've just been kind of like slowly stealing her stuff.
Well, that's reasonable. I think even this is felt in RTA and even in Arena, right? Just because of things like LRK mitigates way too much damage, right? With the one barrier, Destina, you're never going to be able to kill. And then Karina, just like if you don't push enough, Karina actually steals your turn and potentially kills your other units.
Yeah, it's just like all like the meta tanks just kind of counter her right now. I think she'll come back eventually. It's just not right now.
Yeah, I can see that. So this is a unit that's been really killing it in RTA for a minute until the Mage Frenzy went away. How is she doing in Arena?
She's not that great, but it's only because there's so much Bellion usually that like pretty much all mages suffer in Arena. Like there aren't many like great mages right now just because book isn't really a thing.
Right. Because in RTA, you can kind of go into it, and you know, even if you kind of sack your book, you play into it, you can still do a lot of damage even without the S2. But I think in Arena, you kind of want to set it up so perfectly that if you want to play her, you better have book.
Yeah, you're just fighting for consistency, so she just like isn't really an option.
Right, because it's I guess it's like a game of decimals, right? You're spamming like, would you say you spam like 100, 200, 300 games on the last day? And, you know, if you just bump up your win rate, your reliability by like 5-10%, like it moves up your point total like by just so much.
Yeah, it usually reflects in like how many attacks you do. Like the cleaner you are, the less you have to do.
Gotcha.
Solly and Iseria are both just PvE.
Okay, cool. Alright, this is the green Cidd that one day killed every unit and then the next day he couldn't, huh?
Yeah, so with Vigor and then Angelica buffs, he would always go after Straze, and then he would always one-shot the Destina and the Bellion.
Destina and the Bellion.
Yeah, because usually the mid dies, right? So you're S3ing with elemental advantage and all the buffs, right? And with the Wind Rider proc, it's like ridiculous. This unit's kind of broken.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just good everywhere. When you set him up correctly, he just kills a little too much.
I also just like spam like Flitica, Caval, Cidd, Watcher versus like half the defenses on the ladder.
Yeah, that's a really reliable team. I think the moment Caval came out, that one's just feels funny to play.
How did I not kill? So I did a video with Jagan X, right? And that's what I said. Like I just said that my Cidd was killing everything, like nothing lived. And then like literally the next day there was like 3 people who had enough EHP to live. So I think I know what happened there.
Yeah, somebody definitely got your numbers and mathed it around.
Spez was good for 1 week. It was literally 1 week. And that's not the gear that I used on him that week.
What happened that week that caused him to be good?
It was just like a random week where like everyone was running these weird Senya defenses, and I was just MLRing, Spezzing everybody.
Oh, cause stun, full penetration. Even if you don't crit, like I'm assuming it's a kill.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, don't. I mean, going public with your tech is fine, right? But that's like you're done. You can just info dump everybody, and then everybody else can figure out how to evolve their game. All right, how about our Milim?
Milim has the same issues that top Model Luluca has. She's just on like a filler artifact right now, but normally she'd be on book. There's just not enough like units that you need to extinct, right? And a lot of the units on defense are a little too tanky for her and Luluca to actually one-shot. So she just like is in a spot where she's not doing anything really.
Right, I can see that. I mean, these units only extinct if they kill, right? And even if you think about units like Lethe that are really good to some degree, like if you miss kill, no extinction. Whereas Briar Witch, I think even Angelica, right? You had on some pretty premium gear. If they're alive and they have their thingy up, it's just automatic extinction. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, those units are just way better. They just outclass those other two by like 3 tiers.
By 3 tiers, Jesus. All right, we got a full damage Zahhak.
Yeah, so Zahhak's usually just on Oath Key. He's basically only used to kill Adin. There's a couple different comps, but I like mathed it out with a mid push plus a Sasha's proc. He cuts 290 Adin on a max storm sword at 240. So yeah, that's why he's 240, and the damage, I think there's only one Adin in like pretty much the last 3 seasons that lives through the Zahhak.
Okay, so it's just hope you're not accidentally running into that guy because you kill literally everybody else in the game.
Yeah, pretty much. And even that guy, I think it doesn't matter because his Adin has no damage.
Oh, okay. So following that, Emilia at 239 speed.
I like used to use her. I know Victor uses her a lot, but she just kept stealing her gear. She's another replacement for Aux Lots in the Lilias Flan comp. The reason you would use her is versus Senya, just in case you don't kill, then you have like an option to like cleanse and stabilize.
Yeah, and I think because like 15% happen, right? So just having the ability to stabilize some of your units and being able to protect your one carry until you clutch out the rest of the matches, it helps. Like, so you just don't like it. You just like all-inning with at least Aux Lots.
Yeah, I like Aux Lots because you get the crit damage buff from Flan then.
Okay, fair enough.
Landy just has gear, like every now and again I'll like try to Landy somebody. But she's a little too slow.
Gotcha. FCC?
FCC you can skip. This is the real Opsig. This is just, I kept bumping up the damage until I stopped missing kills. And this one didn't miss a kill all season, I don't think.
Hasn't missed a kill all season. And that's just like experimentation and play, right? You miss kill on something, you bump up 1 damage. Your Zeo gets outspeed once, you bump them up by 1 speed.
Yeah, it's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, I think that mindset is something that I think will carry over to RTA really well. Because a lot of times for somebody like me who streams RTA and people ask me like, what's the right stat line? Like, depending on your rank and depending on how the rest of your account plays, there's no right stat line. You kind of have to play a lot for yourself to get a feeling for what works for you and what doesn't. And then everybody is going to have a slightly different stat line based on their own gear as well. Yeah, that's looking real comfortable. 3.8 to 325. You have a DDR. I'm assuming this is like not something you would play in arena.
It was so funny you were talking about it earlier because after cleave, my second favorite way to play the game is DDR Solly. And I like unironically, this isn't the gear I usually use, but I was like unironically spamming it, like just like at the end of like the night on a Sunday.
Or just like close it out and just have a relaxing time, casually spreading venom, not winning the game, but also like, you know you're winning. You might not be winning this turn, but you're winning the game at some point.
It's very oddly fun. I have no idea why.
Man, you might want to get that checked out. God damn. Oh, that's
GP.
GP.
Yeah, GP. I just have gear on because sometimes you can Zeo bait people by swapping like your Flutica and stuff onto Guiding Light. So I just have something on him at all times.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's gonna be really handy for people to have an RTA, because a lot of people get up to Emperor just first picking Zeo, and the moment somebody first picks Zeo, you can start thinking about trapping them with the GP.
Yeah, he's pretty good actually. I used him. I definitely used him every week, like at least once.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that easily. All right. We got LRK.
LRK, I did not really use. He's just on some gear. I know there's like some auto comps with LRK that are pretty good, but I didn't really look into it because I didn't want to mess anything up like midway through the season. He's also just like a little slow.
And then as far as like these auto comps go, it's not like rush hour comps, right? It's like auto comps for throughout the week where you can just kind of burn your flags, get free, just kind of like easy way to get rid of your flags just for points.
Just like if anything is like a little risky to cleave and like you're on a big streak and you're like, oh, like I could get 15% of here and lose, I'll just slow comp it instead, just to keep the streak going.
Oh, gotcha. AOL?
So this is a defense unit. It's 300F, just try to mess people up.
Oh my god. Okay, so she's built purposely squishy. We're gonna steal a turn with 300F, cut upwards. If we get to S3 something, it does a number on their buffs, and then if it kills us, oh wait, oh it's just for even more F. I thought this was knowledge seed for a second. You know, the thing where like you build squishy on purpose, you die, you give buffs to your team.
I think knowledge seed's a scam.
You think it's a scam?
Yeah, I've never lost to it. I think like maybe one time.
I'm not gonna lie, back when I played, there was one time very famously I lost to it because I was playing Briar Witch. I killed an AOL. It was a DPS Briar, right? And their green violet rolled evasion buff, and I couldn't kill it.
I think there's a screenshot somewhere, I think, of Joker. Like he killed an AOL and it put triple evasion on the enemy team. I'll have to look for it.
That's pretty you hate to see it, you know.
Hwa fell off too. At some point I had her geared really well, but she's just like I don't even know what really happened.
Was she after the nerf? Was she ever played? Yes,
I used her a lot last season because she was like the only unit that would reliably one-shot Sneachu's APOC.
It would reliably one-shot Sneachu's APOC. So
nothing else worked.
Nothing else worked?
Nothing.
Not even like LQC?
LQC did not work. I couldn't get her to a point where she would be able to go first and not die to his APOC before like I could kill it.
Jesus Christ. I guess a little history lesson for everybody, right? After Hwayoung's nerf, they made it so that if Hwayoung is like about 11,000 HP lower than her target, then she did way more damage. But if you were anywhere less than 11,000 HP, like being gapped by your opponent, she basically just does no damage. That's about correct, right?
Yeah, she does nothing.
Yeah, so she ended up not being played in RTA the moment she was nerfed because you had to build something like double Torrent to make sure she had no HP to even kill something that's around 18k. Which made it so that she was really unviable because you were just way too squishy.
Yeah, she was okay last season, but this season I think Arunka is just way better.
Oh, okay. So kind of supplanted by Arunca buffs.
Yeah, you can skip Ray.
We can skip Ray. Does speed imprint?
Yeah, I do use Surin a lot. She's like mostly there to be a speed imprint, but Surin is just I found to be the best way to deal with Senias that live because she has like the bleeds and stuff. So she's on MLDB to try to dodge the Senya S3 and S1s and stuff.
All right, we're also on immunity just in case, like for faster Senyas, but this is designed to kill Senyas.
Yep.
Awesome.
I just found that she's a better 14 imprint than Shuri in that situation. Bruka is just for Guild War.
Gotcha. That's our Guild War build. That's pretty standard. Designer?
Dilly, yeah, not really used. I used her a lot during my first season because I used to turn 2 cleave with her. So like something like Lilias would go first, and then Dilly would boost back up, and then I had a 230 full damage Pavel that would like wipe everything.
Oh, okay. Man, you sound like you were really cooking. 230 full damage Pavel.
Yeah, I was really slow back then, so I need to make stuff work.
Okay, to be fair, when you say like you were really slow back then, you were still like pretty fast. But like
No,
for like Hall of Fame standards, it was like it would be pretty slow.
No, I was just slow. I was like 315 max ran, I think, or something. Like garbage ran 315.
Yeah, I think to most people like who are going to like look at your account though, the 315 is like an unthinkable amount of speed. Oh man. Okay, CDOM. I think in arena, I'm assuming CDOM as long as there's no Bellions, like viable unit.
CDOM is exclusively used with Pavel. That's it.
Exclusively used with green Pavel, right?
Green Pavel, yeah.
But yeah, this is like pretty juiced up too, cause 100 crit get around Politis.
Green Celine. So
Green Celine too,
the meta, the old meta defense was Arowell, Green Celine, Adin, and C Lilias. So Green Pavel, CDOM, Watcher, Caval would wipe that.
Ah, okay. 208. That should be our DPS poly.
Yeah, I have 2 polys, but I only have 1 built right now. And she's just as much damage as I could fit at her prio.
Gotcha. And then, like, I mean, Polly is, like, she's a book holder. She activates off of enemies like Senya S2, Karina S2. You just combo her and slide her in as necessary. Also blocks a lot of CR push from stuff like Sage Baal, Adin as well, right?
Yeah, I bring her a lot into Karina with Berseria, so I just sober in the Berseria, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when Karina procs Poly and wipes the team.
Ah, okay.
Luluca you can skip just on event gear. Mort you can skip just Guild War defense. Vildred picked back up like a lot. So a lot of defenses ended up becoming, I don't want to say speed threats, but there was a lot of stuff with no MIT, but they had tanky units. So stuff like Karina, Bellion, Justina, AOL is a good example of something that popped up a lot. So if you don't know, Jinte is always in Legend, and he runs defenses like that a lot, so it's hard to judge when it's his AOL and when it's someone else's. So versus those teams now, I just bring Lilias, Amid, Vildred, and Flan. And Vildred's purposely slow, so he can't cut the Flan with a mid S2 and S3.
Oh, so we're just giving him every buff in the universe and just letting him rip it.
Yep, exactly. And it's into these no mid teams already, so he basically always does it. And even if like we miss death breaks and stuff, as long as we kill one, it's fine because of the mid swift attack. So
Right.
you always, if you get 1 kill, you boost back up to 100 with the Summer Sword Twilight. It's not 100, but it's close to 100.
Oh, because between his passive Sword of Summer Twilight and the swift attack, like you're just zooming back.
Yep.
Okay, damn.
You basically just get 2 turns with Vildred at that cleave.
Yeah, and you're getting like attack up, crit damage up from Blue Flan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's spicy.
Charlotte not used, A Tywin. I think at some point I had him on defense, but He like doesn't actually work.
Oh, that's a shame.
RB I did use this season actually. At around this build, there was just a lot of comps where it was stuff like, you just needed a unit that could clean up like 2 or more units that were already low. So I found that RB actually worked a lot of the time because if things went wrong, he would just revive and kill everything.
Yeah, he's both like a DPS and an anchor in one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gear wise.
You skip Shadow Rose.
Okay. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. Like 3.9 attacks is a lot of damage on a Watcher.
Yeah, this was like another like just like test, and he's 299 crit damage because I wanted to cap him out at 300, because there was a lot of times where I was using my mid push on Watcher to kill like another unit to proc a Karina. So I found that like using the super high attack builds were just better usually because of how often I was getting that crit damage buff.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think this is a really important unit to have for any type of cleave, whether it's arena or RTA.
Yeah, I also don't like Torrent on my Watcher because there's a lot of times where, something like a Senya will stay alive or like a Bellium will counter you or something, and just having that like just little bit of extra HP usually keeps you alive for a single hit.
Yeah, I would say that's like a really good take. And then this is always like a debate, right? So from somebody who's like, you're an extremely experienced cleaver at this point, you say the plus 15 on Watcher is like, I think anybody who's like a cleaver that's worth their salt, like you have a plus 15 Watcher, no questions asked.
Yeah, it's just too good and used too often.
Yeah, and a lot of times he stabilizes a game through S1, especially S2.
Yeah, his S2 is really good.
Yeah, that's a tip I definitely like recommend to anybody who's like an aspiring cleaver. All right, so we were talking about this a little bit. This is an Arunca.
Yeah, so Arunca is just really good. She basically, so that issue I was talking about with the Cidd and the EHPs and stuff, she's just like, I just replaced Cidd with her, and I haven't lost with that team yet.
I think the really crazy part with this build is, like, obviously you're using an attack boot, but I think the ring and the neck are crazy because you have attack percentage with like 100, anywhere from like 140 to 200 points of flat attack, and that just gets really scaled up by her passive.
Yeah, I always fish for these flat attack things now because there's so many units that only want 300 crit damage.
Oh yeah, that's another really good reason too. Just because of like when you're setting up your team perfectly, you always got to account for crit damage buff.
Yeah, it's actually gotten kind of weird because I'm almost like wanting to fish for like attack percent next more because I just find that I'm overcapped so often.
Oh, and then as far as like her damage output goes, because a lot of people haven't seen Arunca in action. You were telling me about the S1 the other day. You said this does like what, 13k to a Destina?
It's closer to like 8 to 10, but yeah, when you proc S1 S2 with Iberius, it does a ridiculous amount of damage.
And that's without attack buff, right?
No, that is with attack buff.
Oh, gotcha.
Without though, it does still do a decent amount, like 6-7k.
Gotcha. So like you set up attack buff, do anywhere from like 8 to 10k to try to close her out, and then that's after one-shotting a barrier unit too.
Yeah, her S1, S2 does more than her S3 does, like, on a non-barrier unit.
Gotcha. Alright, Sage Vivian?
Sage Vivian, didn't use... She's just, like, too weird. Her crit damage buff doesn't really do anything. She doesn't really do enough damage.
Okay, gotcha. Sorana's actually hella solid.
Yeah, Rana works on anything though, so like I think at like the start of the season it's usually like 420 GS and then it just drops and drops and drops as I just keep taking stuff.
I think Roana, this is a team that probably still works, but I remember your first season, you cooked up this Roana build that you would brute force into 100% of the teams, right? Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I would just spam like ran Ada Rowana LHC, and Rowana LHC would just kill everything.
Yeah, it was like Ran, Ida, or Iseria, depending on the matchup. LHC as your anchor, and then Rowana is meant to just brute force stuff like Bellions and Politis, right?
Yeah, that team's gotten way worse though because of Aiden and Karina.
With Karina, oh. Well, with Lionheart Thermia catching a pretty sizable buff coming up, do you think that team can potentially push itself back in, or the units don't have enough of like a grip on the current meta?
I do think it could pop back up. The issue is that like LHC didn't do that much in that comp, right? She was usually just to clean up if like things went wrong. So it's more of a question is like, is there things you can still ran Ada, ran Caesarea? And I think at the moment it's kind of no. Just because there's so much of like these tank defenses nowadays instead of any kind of like contest stuff.
Okay, that's fair.
You can skip Flurry. Ashimatsu Elena I used a lot, and I kept changing her artifact. I still don't know what her best artifact is. Unseen Observer is like okay, but you're running her into Bellion so much that she doesn't ever get the souls. So yeah, I tried Warhorn, but I think there are just too many units that want Warhorn instead, and I also tried Sasha's, but I found that I'm already using her with a Sasha's unit usually, so it was just kind of lost value. So I don't know what this unit wants.
I'm assuming you also try like Misha, but like there's only so much Misha that can go around.
Yeah, I don't have a spare Misha either.
So this is just like, because she can just use so many things, you might as well give her a little bit of push, and then you know,
Yeah,
there's no Bellion, the extra souls could help.
Yeah, Unseen Observer's okay because that means you can bring this unit into the new Luluca, right? Because
Right.
she's getting the additional CR and she can cut. But other than that, yeah, you can use basically whatever on her. I do think she needs like high damage now though.
She needs high damage. Yeah, I can see that, because now like your entire combo just runs it through.
Yeah, she just cleans up so many teams, especially with, like after Calvin goes.
Yeah, because now the cannot be counterattacked is it's built into the passive, right? So you like,
Yeah.
it's just like too good.
Yeah, I'm surprised this unit isn't any good in RTA still.
It's mostly just because like if you pick her too early, then your opponent because she specifically only counters, so you can start jamming stuff around like Dilly Ed, and then she kind of gets stuck, right? So if you pick her early, and if you pick her late, she just gets banned.
Yeah.
That's generally why you kind of like just pick her in a later rotation to force your opponent to ban it.
I don't use Dark Corvus.
Oh,
He's
fair
just
enough.
geared.
He's just geared, yeah. This is the
Next
Wyvern
thing
one?
you can probably look at is, I don't even know if you want to look at Ed. Ed is just on gear.
Ed is just on gear. That is pretty solid for injury though.
Yeah, I was like autoing with him like a little bit, like injury SSB, injury Ed is like okay. It takes forever though.
So it's just like you do it throughout the week, and then like rush hour is like he's just out.
Well, like when I'm taking, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I messed this build up. But yeah, like I don't always want to be cleaving on Sundays, right? Because I want to be like taking breaks and stuff and doing other stuff. So when I'm not cleaving, I'll just like put on an auto comp and like walk away and go do something.
Okay. Productive. My man still got his life intact. Respect. All right. After that is Maid.
Yeah, so this is the for the Snitchu comp. He's the one that made the Maid Arya comp with all the stats. You just want to like resist everything. You just stack ER. Your health doesn't really matter because you run a protection set with this comp. So you just rely on the defense to keep you alive.
Oh, okay. Defense to scale the barrier from the protection. You resist everything, and then her whole job is just to slam S3 one time.
Yeah, the units in that comp look really bad, but I haven't lost with it yet, so.
Okay. And then this is like what? So, you know, we were kind of talking about this, right? So in the beginning, because we're sorting by speed, it was going to be all openers, then all DPS, and we're kind of getting to the zone where it's going to be all of your defense units now, right?
Yeah, some defense units, and then there are gonna be a couple of like full DPS stuff at the bottom.
Yeah, so DPS units, usually you kind of have like your speed DPS that need the tuning, and then full DPS just eat like an Aux Lots 100% push, so their speed don't matter, and they're just there to drop a big AoE and just kill stuff.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And you know, out of curiosity, I was still wondering, do you still have that one Imager album with all of your teams and stuff?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, can you link that up? Because I think people have comp-based questions in chat, and then if it's cool with you, I'll also throw that in like the description if this ever ends up on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll give you a different one later because this is like not gonna be the most up-to-date one.
Okay, yep, no worries. All right, I know this was your rep for a while.
Yeah, but Violet, like, I tried like the 250 full damage Violets, but like, if it doesn't have like 100% pen in arena, it doesn't do a crazy amount of damage for single target units.
Right.
So Violet was just, he never really found a spot. Now he's just on like, I'll just use this for like PvE, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, at least if you play RTA, I think you get more mileage out of him, but yeah, it's not like a reliability unit. He's a fun factor unit for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yoha?
Yoha just has gear on it. I don't really use Yoha Krau. The only knights I really used were was like Carmen LRK.
Carmen LRK, and those are like the main defense knights.
For offense.
Gotcha. All right, this is one of them builds, huh?
Yeah, it's just the super thick Destina. There was these defenses that like everyone used Caval versus, and I think like this Destina would just live through some of the Caval S2, S3s.
Right.
Oh,
And
this is also misgeared. I must have filled in the wrong piece.
Okay, and then do you change your gear like on the week a lot just to like?
Oh yeah, I'm spending like 4 million gold and regearing a week.
Okay. And that's just to make sure, like, you know, you're either moving these damage thresholds or tank thresholds up and down just to, like, mess with people, right?
Yeah, stuff like that. Or just, like, different techs that I want to try out.
Gotcha. Yeah, but, I mean, even without, like, we're missing a speed set, right? So it's just a little bit more speed. As is, like, she'll just survive.
Yeah, I'll fix that later.
Holy moly. 5k 350, Ludwig? With an artifact, we're definitely 5k.
Yeah, Ludwig I thought would be way better, but he just has the same mage issue where there's just too much Bellion that you need to soul burn to get the extra turn. Well, you don't need to, but you know, to make it reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out a way to use him reliably, and like any place that I would use him, there was like another team that would be faster.
Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, but I do think, like, in terms of, like, getting units to have crazy numbers, I think, like, Leo Mage is definitely one of the classes of all times.
Yeah, he would be good if there was no Bellion, but I guess you could say that about a lot of units.
Bellion, I think, is just, like, too important for arena defense, right?
Yeah, we'll see next season because of ML Landy, but right now, if you don't have Bellion, you're just gonna get farmed.
I absolutely see that.
You can skip Surin. APOC is just standard.
Yeah, that's a standard APOC. Do you find in arena, there's anything you want differently, or like arena APOC, RTA APOC, no difference? She just never dies, big S3 swing, and then you make a huge tempo swing.
For defense, you want counter, but that's about it.
For defense, you want counter. I trust that Sneechu has a really crazy counter one.
I mean, if he wants to link it, he can.
Yeah, if he wants to link it, I'm down to include it in the video as well, or just show on stream. Otherwise, if Sneechu's still in the game, I don't want to leak a tech. But all I can say is Sneechu and his entire guild still have PTSD from trying to do their trying to attack into their Guild War defense, man. I got roped to 100 turns, and I was losing to the APOC because of how much she was countering, and I couldn't kill her, so I took the draw. My win condition was the draw. I couldn't do it, bro. All right, after that we have Giselle.
Giselle is also a unit that just kind of pops in and out. This is like not even like close to what I had on her at the start of the season. I just like kept stealing gear. I think I'm out of torrent pieces. That's why there's no torrent set.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I
She's just, like-
imagine when she first came out, she was probably seeing a bit of usage, right? That's where the plus 30 artifact comes from.
Yeah, she was really good for like 2 weeks, and then I don't know what happened. She just like fell off. I don't even remember what I was using her for. I was using her for like every attack for a little bit, and then after that I just couldn't use her anymore.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Oof. We were talking about this unit too. I was like, I'm looking forward to it. 176 speed.
I use her for Guild War, but I usually have boots on her, but that's it.
Oh, okay. If we just like throw up any old pair of boots.
Anything with like effectiveness on it. It's just like a meme unit. Like I'm basically trying to lose in Guild War.
Yeah, we just like, I mean, strip and then just have her drop S3.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Or well, I just have gear on.
Just have gear on. Okay.
Acid is probably the next unit. He looks awful though.
He looks awful. Does he perform?
He does. For whatever reason, slow Acid with the Gab EE does so much damage. He one-shots basically anything if there's no mit. So I just like have him go like after Straze or something, and he just one-shots whatever else is there.
Oh. Oh, okay. So this is for Straze goes first. He gets greater attack up from his EE, and then he gets a big CR push from the passive, and then he just goes up EE plus the CR plus your passive Wind Rider damage, and you just pop anything without mitigation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I kill Senya's without critting.
What?
This build.
Wait,
Yeah, like
okay,
some of
that's
the-
pretty spicy.
Some of the squishier ones.
Damn. Some of the squishier ones. I mean, it makes sense, right? You're playing Straze with this. Straze drops S3. The highest HP unit generally die, which is their mitigation. So now, like, he just farms whatever is left. Makes sense. Yeah, after that, we got LQC on Portrait as well. Oh my god.
So, yeah, LQC, like, for whatever reason, every season this happens, Lilibet just pops up on defense for like 2 weeks. It's just every season it happens. And whenever it happens, you just pull out like A-Lots LQC and it just one-shots the whole team.
A-Lots, LQC, and then exactly 85 crit, because, you know, we're hitting a dark unit anyway, so we just need Portrait instead of, like, Hellcutter.
It's literally always Lilibet. It just happens every season.
Always Lilibet. Yeah. This is definitely looking a little different from our RTA build, because in here, like, you know exactly where you're taking this into, so you don't need to be tanky. What would you consider is a tanky Senya as opposed to a normal Senya? Would you like to elaborate on that, or do you rather show than tell when we get there?
I mean, the people who know, right? So
yeah, that's a really good way to put it. If you know you're running a tanky Senya, you're running a tanky Senya. If you're not sure if you're running a tanky Senya, then you're not running a tanky Senya. Yeah, it'll come up. We'll leave a little foreshadow going. We'll give you a little, we'll tease you a little bit.
All right, so this usually there's Bastion on this Aria, but I moved it. This Aria looks awful, but basically you tune it so she goes after Maid and before Carmen, so the whole team will be stealth, and then the whole team will be invincible because of Carmen, so she doesn't actually need lifesteal. This is a Snitchu comp, by the way. I don't take credit for making this.
Okay, Snitchu comp. Snitchu, like, man, Snitchu's too crazy at, like, playing, what do you call these? He's too good at playing, like, these tanky units.
Yeah, I actually don't know how to play slow. Usually if I lose during the week, it's because I try to slow something and mess it up.
Oh, okay. Damn. And then we need Bastion. Sick.
Yep.
Oof.
Violet is just whatever. Yeah, he doesn't even have gear right now.
It doesn't make I mean, dude, this build looks like it'll probably still kill every water unit in the book. Don't matter.
Stenny actually has gear on, even though she's 165.
Oh, this is like one of those nuker ones.
Yeah, that stupid APOC.
Okay, yeah, so this just in. Breaking news for Sneechu's Apocalypse Ravi. This is like, if you ever ran into a Ravi on arena defense or GVG defense against Iggy, and this APOC Ravi, you know, refuses to die, counterattacks every hit, and hits back real goddamn hard. Yeah, this is why. You know, we specifically int in Guild Wars so we don't have to fight like Iggy. like once we get to like close to top 20 or we're in top 20 or we're close, I straight up I make the decision to like actually lose so we don't fight Iggy. Least tanky Sneechy unit? Exactly. Yo, wait, actually, that's a real take. Do you ever put the Lethe artifact on this?
It's on his shoe. His shoe's like 36k or something.
Oh my god. Cause let's say Ravi be 35k on counter. I hate Sneechy, dude.
We were actually talking about it yesterday, me and Snitchu. My speed set shoe, if I put all my health percent gear on, it's 40k with the Lethe Arty.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, this is why I hate it so much. It's because you're not ever playing like any aggressive teams with this unless you're going there to hit the auto button and you're just letting the AI kill themselves. Like, you just leave this on a defense team, and if your opponent tries to play the game, watch them try to play the game. Like, they're not gonna be playing the game. I hate this so much.
It's so funny.
Honestly, it really is. Like, this is what happens when you're one of the tankiest accounts on global, right? Like,
it's very weird now because with the new Lethe Arty, like, he can make units that won't die to Straze because they have too much health. I calced it earlier, and they just won't die.
That's actually happened to me too. When I was debuting Lethe, I ran into somebody who played Lethe Erewhon. They just let me keep Strays. I dropped the S3, my Tachi procs, and both units just lives, and I had the next turn too. I just top righted, bro.
Oh, dude, no, it's more than that, dude. I was calcing with Vigor attack buff portrait.
Oh my god.
And it doesn't kill.
Wait, that's a little disturbing. Like, that's actually like it makes me really rethink what is okay and not okay in Epic 7 if you actually just don't even kill with all of that setup.
Yeah, if he runs his Karn with protection set and like a 40k unit, it just doesn't die.
Oh god.
Because it's like 46k health, right? Through Carmen
Right. Yeah, it's a little bit too much. Man. Alright, so like I guess like the Stenny here is just completely for the combo.
Yeah, it's just like very rarely used. Stenny just like I used her a lot my first season, but again, just too much Bellion.
Gotcha. Full damage lion, destruction set, crit set, and then we got golden rose.
Yeah, I use this lion like a little bit, you know, if I'm feeling lazy and don't want to cleave. I like this build a lot. I like the high damage lions. I would want like a little bit more health, but
yeah, this is like just hella juicy looking. We got 2k 350, man. That's so much damage. I think you're probably really close to a prototypical like modern day RTA lion, right? Probably it's like drop a little bit of crit damage for more HP, a little bit more defense, right? Speed is gonna be enough because now we're just boosting up. But like this is what really makes this build possible because it gives you so much damage so you can kind of focus on bulk, or in your case, right? Just focus on more damage, and when your unit really needs it, it gives you a bit of sustain. Like it's too good. It gives you everything you need.
Yeah, I wish I grabbed more copies.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Me too.
Next team is probably Dizzy.
Dizzy? Okay.
I don't know if she's geared. I can't remember.
She's got speed torrent set with no artifact.
Yeah, so
86 crit.
she was so her S3 does like crazy damage when she has high attack. So there was just like a week where I was just like one-shotting Aidens with Dizzy instead of like doing anything else. It's super funny to watch.
Oh, yeah, because it's guaranteed to miss, right? And
Yeah.
you're most likely gonna miss on Aiden anyway. So it's like, if I remember correctly, it's a 2.5 scaling.
Yeah, it also lands the debuffs, right? So you're like blinding and attack downing the Aiden too. So it isn't really a real comp, but it was functioning almost as if it was a real comp.
If it looks stupid but it works, it ain't stupid. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Shoes on leftover. Chisei, I think, has my highest DPS set.
Shoes on leftover. You don't do like a Sneechu thing where you keep this on defense team?
No, I just don't have the tank gear that for Shu.
Okay. Kisei saw. Oh Jesus, 5k 300.
Yeah, so I just like people were like bugging me to try Kisei at the start of the season, and I didn't believe them. But like this unit like straight up kills like green units. It like doesn't matter. You just you take a mid Kisei, a Yelena, and Cavill, and any tank team dies. It doesn't matter.
Any tank team. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, the only thing that counters that team is Holy Sack, which is why I don't run it versus like everything anymore. But like this Kisei, like if I land a mid crit damage buff, I can just kill the Carmen outright and then just clear the rest of the team. If not, then I just target either Karina or AOL, whatever annoying unit that's there, and then the S2 S3 just kills everything.
Right. So it's like the 50 CR plus Ahmed Swift attack gives you a second turn. EE gives you extra damage on the S2. You have stealth from your S3. You have 60% defense pen plus 10% extra damage plus all of these stats and 2 stacks of Tauren. Plus if you Wind Rider stack. Yeah, I can see that. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, so this unit pretty much invalidates every other knight in the game that isn't Carmen or Arrowell. Like if you run another knight as your mitt, you just kind of die to Kisei now.
And then like the 300 crit damage is very intentional to make sure like we take full advantage of our crit damage buff.
Yeah.
Spicy.
LCB I didn't really use this season. I thought injury could be funny, but it like didn't really work.
Gotcha.
Next unit would probably be Celine.
Okay.
So I do use Celine a lot because there's a lot of people that end up running Ran plus 3 tanks. So stuff like Ran, Karina, Bellion, Destina was really popular this season. So you would just have Celine kill the Ran and then have a closer push up. That's what the closer is for. And then a sausage proc from Watcher would push up the closer, so you cut the Karina. And then you can use closer S3 to boost up the rest of your units.
Oh, so this is mostly for Karina?
Yeah, ran Karina pretty much.
Oh, right, because you activate the Karina. Karina S2 will activate you, and then you get the push for free.
Yeah, well, it's the Ran S2, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Track it to highest attack, and then build itself is just like damage out of the park.
Yeah, so for that team I mentioned, this team, this Celine will one-shot the Destina from full health too.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, with
I have not
Portrait?
missed a kill with it.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Well, you might have to scroll for the next unit. None of this stuff is built.
Okay, no worries. Just let me know what it is.
I guess Karina, but my Karina is really bad because I don't farm Banshee.
I mean, it's about like functional, right? Because if you just take the same build into RTA, it'll work. Maybe a bit on the slower side, but HP is really healthy.
Yeah, I just wanted to be tanky. The speed doesn't really super matter for Arena unless you're like 240 or something.
Is 240 Karina a thing in Arena?
Oh yeah, that's why I run the 250 OSIG.
Oh, okay.
Next
Fire
unit would be
Shuri's just
Kawazu.
not used,
Yeah,
I'm
Fire
assuming.
Shuri I don't use.
Okay.
So Kawazu is really funny in that he literally needs nothing and he works. Like he works on anything. This gear is awful, but I've never lost with him. He just needs like 5500 attack and attack buff, and he one-shots pretty much any unit in the game.
You can take him into pretty much anything from like Rand to LRK to probably even Senya, right?
Yep. So the exact team is Carmen on protection set, Maid Arya Kawazu, and the Maid plus the Carmen just keeps you alive.
Oh, okay. And that would be like one of the auto teams throughout the week that you can just like kind of cruise with.
Yep. That one works basically versus everything.
Okay. All right. I know this is a big unit coming in, Commander Pavel. We talked about it a lot. What the hell is that? That's
I kind of gimped him because I tried to reroll the boots with the charm thing, and they got worse. But yeah, Cavill is easily the best DPS in Arena. Like if you don't have Cavill, you can't go for top 3 pretty much unless you're Snitchu. But yeah, he's just too good.
And your thing is the neck. I know your necklace is crazy.
It's all right. It's just so hard to get good attack percent necks that I haven't really seen that many that are that much better.
Yeah, because the main thing you do with Commander Pavel is like usually you push up to 350 crit damage, but then you're so close already, you might as well just go attack, which gives you more pen on the S3, and then you just ride the natural destruction side, and you just get so close, right? So you just run an attack neck instead.
So Symbol is because at the very start, you bring Cavill onto Adin and just kind of stuck. I think Duck Noctis is already better than Symbol at plus 30. Like, it already does more damage with 5 crits. I can't remember the exact math.
So after buff, it's like definitely better.
Yeah, 100%. Symbol is literally just for the hit chance.
Yeah, Max Misha. Matt, you can run a Max Misha if you have a better use for Symbol, but Symbol is decidedly better than Misha. 16 damage is a lot better than the amount of crit damage you get from Misha.
Yeah, I only have 1 Misha too, and it's not maxed.
This is the famous rage set BBK, yeah?
Yeah, so usually it's on Windrider. I just have a placeholder for now, but yeah, this BBK kills almost everything. Like, I very rarely miss kill on anything if debuffs land. It's not even like the craziest gear. I think a lot of people just don't have a Rage Torrent set together.
Like, I guess alongside the Pavel, right? If somebody's pushing for like Hall of Fame, like they definitely need one of these.
Yeah, it does need to be geared this well. It can also be on Destruction or something like that. For like top 100, top 30, like you want the BBK team geared. It's like very easy to gear if you have the units, and it cleaves so many of the teams. Like in the same way that the Cavill is like kind of necessary for top 3, like BBK is not necessary but highly recommended for top 100, top 30.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I think definitely for top 30. Like, would you say Global right now even still has like a somewhat competitive top 30 scene?
It's definitely competitive, but not in a sense that it's like super hard. Like the bottom of top 30 is still pretty weak, but there are just a lot of people that are trying for those spots, which is what's making it competitive.
Right.
Like a lot of those people like don't cleave everything, right? Or like they have like 1 or 2 cleave teams and they're slow teaming everything else.
Damn, okay. And then after that, okay, this is where I'm expecting to see a good chunk of defense units.
Yeah, SSB is just on injury. I was messing around with SSB Ed, and it works kind of okay.
Okay, so this is the first one.
Yeah, but Bellion is like such a hard unit to figure out because she's actually just awful for defense, but her passive is so good that you can't not have her, right? But like as a unit, she's like actually not that good because like for like slow teams, she just kind of suffers, and a lot of people have figured her out like how to cleave her. So yeah, like it's so hard to figure out like what is actually a good build for Bellion, and I don't even know like what artifact that she actually wants because Elbrus kind of sucks, Holy Sack kind of sucks. and then there's like nothing else really that she wants. I do also run a protection set Valiant sometimes, and that gets some people sometimes. But yeah, I just figured that having her stay alive was probably the best way to go.
So it's more important to just make her tanky and just be a passive totem, and then everything else you can just kind of mix and match. Elbrus is fine if you high roll, counter set is fine if you high roll, otherwise like even protection set with high HP is like good value.
Yeah, the only thing that's really necessary is you want immunity and you want counter, because there are some cases where you'll just like 15% someone Lilias and then your Valiant will stay alive and potentially 1v4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that, totally.
You can skip like the next like 6. Keep going. I think like a lot of this like other defense units are like real slow.
Yeah, we're looking. We're digging for the base speed units. Carmen,
yeah,
protection set. Okay.
Yeah, Carmen. She's just tuned for the team. I have a different build where she's like 32k with like a health set that I usually put on defense, but my protection set honestly I churned out in like 3 days, so it's not that great. She just needs to be on a protection set and have some health.
Right. Yeah, I think right now, like, you just want to have at least one protection set unit on your account, like, regardless of who it is. I think Karm's a good unit. I think Eden is a great candidate. I think Fat Cat right now even is, like, pretty handy for all types of PvP content.
I basically just put this set on my Fat Cat if I run Fat Cat on defense.
Ah, okay.
And then you gotta keep going down. I think Charon is a real arena unit, but I can't get the build that you would need.
Do you think it's an injury build or a lifesteal build?
It would need to be injury.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, but it's just so hard to get the stats you need.
Yeah, he could be good, but he just isn't. I think honestly, like the next unit might just be it might be the last one. It might just be Senya.
Are we just like digging deep for the Senya? Okay, so I guess this is for earlier for people who are wondering the difference between a normal Senya and a tanky Senya. A
it
normal
looks so
Senya,
gross.
it looks nasty. I'm sorry for anybody who hasn't seen this. A normal Senya is just a normal Senya. This is what a tank Senya looks like. All right, would you like to enlighten the class on why this unit has to exist?
Mine's like not even actually tanky. The Snitchy is the tanky one. He has my stats, but it's just plus like 600 defense.
And this unit has one job.
This unit's job is just to be annoying.
If I understand this, you're supposed to be able to tank a Straze. You're supposed to be able to face tank a Caval crit and still live to drop your S3.
Yeah, you definitely still do. I don't know. This unit's disgusting and I hate it, but it's necessary, I guess.
Is a necessary evil. Like, we got no set bonuses. We're just here for the stats.
It's literally just stats, yeah. She has some like kind of stupid gear. Like the left side is a penta health and a penta health.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a penta health. Wait, that's a max penta. I just realized.
It's not. It's close though.
Damn. Ah, okay. And then it's just all HP. Yeah, that's pretty nasty.
The boots are like straight up awful. So like as soon as I replace those, we'll actually have like a decent build.
Yeah, and like this is like, would you say this is the quintessential rush hour? I'm gonna park this on my defense and watch people die to it trying to cleave it tech.
It used to be for sure, but it's kind of getting solved, right? Just because she's been out for so long.
Right.
But like definitely, like if I just want to stick some stuff on defense and I don't know what to do, I just throw Senya Belly and Carmen stuff like that up.
Senya Belly and Carmen. Exactly. Okay, I can absolutely see that. That's dirty as hell.
I don't think there's anything else, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, we'll scroll through it.
Yeah, I don't think so. That sounds about right. Her being the slowest.
Okay, yeah, that does seem to check out. That cause she's an absolute like unit and a half, like a unit of all time, dude. Yeah, so if you can imagine trying to cleave this, and then there's one guy that's out there that has gear that's even tankier than this and harder to cleave.
I can make her like way like thicker if I drop the attack, but I figured if like she doesn't have that much attack, she probably won't be like killing anything anyway.
Yeah, and then they can like stabilize. And then that's it. That's how that's the amount of work, dedication, research, and testing you need to put in to get not one, not two, but 3 Hall of Fame frames in Arena. And then what is it? In like what, 3 more weeks from today, we can see you up here for the 3rd time?
Yeah, I think it's 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, this is your first week off, right?
Yeah.
How are you enjoying retirement?
I mean, I haven't really done anything different.
Are you ready to become
I also
an
don't know
RTA
if I'm
player
retired.
now? Oh my god, no. Are you going for a 4th one?
I don't know yet.
Okay, well, I mean, we
We'll
showed
see.
all your tech, right? So at this point, people know what you're doing. People know what your account is about. So I'm assuming it gets a little bit more challenging, but like it's nothing like, you know, a little bit of cooking wouldn't be able to solve in, I assume, like a week.
I'm done with going for rank 1 for sure, but I might like just snag like a 2 or a 3 if the frame looks good.
What do you, okay, so can you quantify for like people who haven't played for Hall of Fame? Because even for me, I have like 4 or 5 gold frames, right? That's top 30. And that involves me playing maybe for 2 hours every Sunday for 12 Sundays, right? And if you think about it, that's 12 times 2, which is like 24 hours, right? Over a course of 3 months, right? What is the next step up, right? So like if you wanted a 2nd or a 3rd, how much do you have to step that up?
If I want to be 2nd or 3rd, well, it depends, right? Because the first few weeks you have to put in the time, right?
Yeah.
Because there's just so many people going for it. And honestly, like for top 3 of those first 3 weeks, with how like the system is now, you have to play for like at least like 12 hours. But after those first 3 weeks, it's really just like a 4 or 5 hour grind, then you're done.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So like the first 3 weeks is all about like getting ahead of people, and the moment they know you're ahead, they get discouraged, they don't want to play, you can like take it a lot easier. But like a 2 or 3 is 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
What about the top 1 then? Like so like, you know, the 4 to 5 needs to be what?
It depends on like who's pushing and like what they're doing and how much they want to mess with me, right? Like the season I did with Joker and all of them, I was like waking up at like noon, starting at like 2, ending at like 8, 9. But then last season, they definitely wanted to screw with me a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I was like some days, like honestly, I started on Saturday and I didn't end until the end of Sunday. So it was pretty bad this season, but I think this is an outlier.
That's an outlier. And like, I mean, arenas, like for you know, people who like maybe haven't dabbled, right? If I can find you up here and see what icons you're running, I can like try to find you here and then just save your image, right? Or like have my friends who are in a similar rank like save your thing, and then like when it comes to like the last hour, and have everybody run their attacks on you, right?
It's more complicated than that because there's like 110% like a hidden matchmaking system in Arena.
Right.
Because you'll just have moments where you don't appear on other people's pages, and you have moments where you do. So it just depends. A lot of old seasons were actually just like during those first 3 weeks, were you on the rush hour pages, which is why I do it like this now with like the super high pushing.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it's so RNG, and it's like stuff that's like completely out of your control.
Right. So what you do is like you were saying, right? You just start on Saturday and you just push and push and push, and like right now it's what, 5,700, right?
Yeah.
You push till it's like what, like 6,300, 6,500?
No.
I
Are
thought
you talking about on Saturdays or?
Like, yeah,
in
like
general?
like Saturday going into Sunday.
It just depends. If it's Saturday going into Sunday, I like to go to at least like 6, maybe up to like 6.5 if I'm like bored. You know, just to have like a head start.
I remember there was a week where you went to 7th and Victor was just like, "What? What is he doing?"
Yeah, that was the very first week. Because yeah, the very first week I got a tip that like a bunch of people were pushing, like it was something like ridiculous, like 13 people, and then no one showed up. So it was like, oops.
You were just up there, like 1,000 points ahead of everybody. Whoops.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I think you think they were just messing with you, and they were like, "Yo, let's get this guy to push for like 15 hours straight."
No, definitely not. Like I was like seeing like screenshots and stuff. Like there was like supposed to be like some Chinese guild that wanted like all 3 spots or something.
And then day one, they saw that, they just said, "Nah, bro, we ain't about it."
I mean, all the Chinese names disappeared the second week, so I guess so.
Respect. Holy moly. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, that's a lot of work, but I think if you can kind of find the right community for it, a lot of things in this game actually ends up being pretty fun.
Yeah, we have our own community of arena brains for sure. I definitely talked to a bunch of people about like comps and stuff still.
Oh,
And we're
man.
recruiting new people like Vespers.
Vespers, you drag people down the waters to fight for Hall of Fame. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, that being said, is there anything else on the account you think we should show off, or like you want to show off, and like anything cool?
I can't really think of anything like you could just like see, but I obviously I have a lot of speed gear. I think I'm at like 65, 20 plus.
65,
But
20 plus.
But I'm 0 out of 5, so.
We're 0 out of 5. Ah, that's right. I mean, also for anybody who's wondering, whenever people say they're like 0 out of 5, 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, what was it? You kind of have to go to profile card to see it, right? It's like in literally nowhere else.
Desire for Hall of Fame Arena. So, in season 2, I was in a guild called Trap House that's now known as Mori, and we were the rank 1 guild for a little bit. And I was like way too bad for that guild, but they let me in anyway, so I was kind of fanboying. And in that guild was they had Abdar, RR64, and Denjo. Well, Denjo was in Fleet, but he like talked in there. So those were the 3 guys that were they were that arena season, and that frame was easily the best frame that they've come out with, the Denjo frame.
This
no,
one,
this
right?
is the very, like, I think it's the 3rd season, that one right there. So I just since I like kind of knew all 3 of them, I just kind of got into it, and I just wanted an arena frame ever since then. And yeah, I've tried pretty much every season since that season. Well, after the life one, I think.
Yeah, there was the life season with Boostgate, with AB pushing in.
Yeah, so the easy clap season was my first season, and I've been playing ever since.
Okay, so this is where I can kind of see why you're such a grinder, right? Because I guess now we're kind of just heading into, if you guys have questions, feel free to toss it to Lucy. If he feels comfortable answering, if he has something he's comfortable with me showing, I'll show it up. But this is where, after the Miliar season, was when they changed the rules on how arena worked. It was all about climbing and spamming games. I remember like points now go up to like what, 7k, 7.5 if you're really bored, right? These seasons, I remember like Mr. Kieran and Boner getting up to like 13k points, like something ridiculous.
Yeah, so back then points were 1-to-1. So like you beat somebody, you got 10 points. You lost someone, you lost 10 points. There was like no MMR system, so it just led to these like huge inflations.
Yeah, those 3 were like, I quit playing arena. I started the tryhard season, the Bushgate season, and that's how I got to know a lot of top players at the time. And then this season was also pretty fun. And then the moment they changed that system, I realized how it worked, and how like you basically have to grind. Like if you have a 9-to-5 job, you come home, you grind until you have to go to sleep, and then you repeat that the next day.
That's not how it worked.
It's
it was
not?
It was way more degenerate than that.
It was more degenerate? Huh?
It was you woke up at 4 in the morning on Monday and you started.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, so yeah.
You have to. I'm assuming then you're also playing through your 9-to-5. Like you have to take like an hour-long bathroom break, and you gotta play in the bathroom.
Yeah, you just play all day. Like, you just start as soon as arena opens. You just play all day. Like the very first week of the Jeffy season, that was like the first season I like. No, that was the second season I went for it. This was the season I got banned.
Oh, no.
Me, Jeff, and Fan, we like all woke up at 4, and we were all sitting in a voice chat together because us 3 wanted it that season.
Jesus Christ, bro.
it was super degenerate. I'm really glad they changed that. It was a really bad system.
Yeah, I remember they changed the silliness season. Silliness came through, and that's when I started playing again, right? It was like I remember it was plus 12 minus 10, right? Which was more inflated than before, because during these seasons it was plus 10 when you on a win, like to someone in the same rank as you is plus 10 minus 8. This is plus 12 minus 10, which is a bit more inflation, but it's more like it's more controlled.
No, the silliness system is the current system.
Yeah.
And it's worse than that. It's plus 5 minus 15.
Plus. Oh, okay. So it really values win rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Lose. I can see why then you're like a stickler for consistency and consistent builds.
Yeah, and that's really why I do like the degen pushes now, because with the plus 5 minus 15 system, it's like so stressful. Because if like you get like 3 defense losses in a row, you know, come out and attack, you're minus 45 points, and 45 points is a lot, right?
Yeah.
So it would just create so much stress in these very volatile pushes, which I guess is more fun for everybody else, but you know, I don't really care, you know.
Yeah. These seasons were like really fun because these 3 seasons drove people away. So these 2 seasons were like the most competitive, people figuring out what's happening again. And then after that, I think it got a little bit. The waters got a little bit muddy.
Yeah. Right. This method, like this system they have now too, when you're not degen pushing, it's like really easy to like cheat and stuff. You know, hint hint, looking at someone in the middle of one of those seasons.
Yeah. This was ultimately what caused Silliness to quit, because he does a lot of research like you, and he did testing, right? And I remember like this season he was just like, he saw what was happening with the points and how fast it was happening towards the end of the season. He was just like,
yeah,
can't keep up. Can't keep up if you're playing legit.
A little strange, and the season after was also a little strange, but you know.
Yeah, it's just a little awkward, you know. But yeah.
Since then, though, I can definitely tell you that there hasn't been anything like that, though. There's definitely still like collaboration in like the top 3 a little bit, but like there's no like donations or anything like that. Not like it wouldn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, I can see that. All right. And then Jinx wants to know, for our esteemed guest, why is he so handsome? What's your secret?
Arena.
Arena.
Obviously.
All right, guys, play more Arena. Smiles. How much do you think cooking cleaves in Arena will carry over to RTA? Do you want to feel that?
I don't really think it will, because you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna help him with that one. It doesn't carry over that much. You understand tuning and stuff, but in terms of drafts, it like really throws you off.
Like Arena, I look at as more of like a puzzle that you can solve, right? And RTA is a little bit more open-ended than that.
Yeah, and then we're just coming back to the speed for people who were asking about the speed. Do you mind if I show the individual pieces?
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. We'll go through his speed pieces in each slot, I guess. Source slot, it's 23 going down to... Yeah, your spread speed are honestly, like, my account is, like, I'm also 0 out of 25, right? Or 0 out of 5. My top speed, not crazy, but my spread speed, really nice. I think you'll probably enjoy something similar to that if you start pivoting to playing RTA.
Yeah, I already have, like, I have my spreads for RTA.
24 going down to 22. Yeah, like your spread speed is nuts. 22 on mech.
I think chess, I think it's like, I have like 8 22s or something like that.
You have 8 22s?
Just in chess slot.
Right, that's still 23. That's her first 22. 22. That's 5, 6, 7. 7. God damn, dude.
And all the speed set ones are exactly the same. Like they're like basically exactly the same stats.
Damn. That is pretty nutty.
How much average Skystones a week? It depends on like the point of the season and which rank you're going for. At the start of the season, it was something ridiculous, like 2,000 Skystones a week. But by the end, I was doing like under 800.
By the end, it was under 800, and you're ending at like rank 1 most of the time, right?
For the first 7 or 8 weeks, I ended rank 1, and then the last 4, at that point, I was locked in no matter what, as long as I ended top 3 for the rest of the week, so I just didn't care.
So that means off the first week, you're basically spending about 200 Skystones after you get your refund when the new week hits, and then the last few weeks, you're basically making 1,000 Skystones.
Mhm.
That's actually pretty nice. Like.
Yeah, I didn't really whale on Skystones this season. I did most of my pushes like free to play, like just managing my Skystones.
Wait, that's actually really impressive, because I know from previous seasons, just hearing about climbs, like having to whale on Skystones was like a big part of going for Hall of Fame. This guy bought a gold pack on week 2.
That was different Vespers. I was cooking some stuff up.
Oh man.
But yeah, especially with like the new side story like mechanics, right? You can start like a new side story like every 10 weeks or whatever, and that gives you like 300 Skystones and bookmarks and stuff. And just like doing your dailies and weeklies, it's more than enough. You definitely profit if you do rank 2 or 3 as well.
That's a kind of a friendly system, the new side story.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I just spam it for katas and stuff.
Spam for katas. I like the opportunity that gives me to like if like at the end of an RTA season picks up and I'm looking for like Shu or Destina imprints, it lets me get back in on those.
Yeah, exactly. Like my Berseria, I think I didn't have any imprints at the start of the season. I like used like a Berseria banner.
Okay.
Any more? Gold.
Yeah. Any more questions? Yeah. If not, I do think that's the whole review, right?
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, bro. I really appreciate it. It was a really good time. Getting insight and getting like being able to peek into the peak arena brain and seeing what's going on there, because you guys definitely cook up some stuff.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Not a lot of people play it, so there's not like. I think the only issue with the arena right now is like there's not enough people playing, so like not a lot of stuff actually gets like made. Like there's not like a lot of new comps and like not a lot of new defenses because there's not like the amount of people that are like playing RTA to experiment and stuff. So it's a little stale, but
yeah. But overall, I mean, it's a puzzle game, right? So I like how they're saying see you in a month. 4th Hall of Fame Legend review in one more season.
I wouldn't be surprised if I play next season, but I'm gonna try to not to.
It's one of those things where like it sounds terrible, but I think once like you don't understand until you get there, where if you're just on your like 40th win streak and you're killing every team and you're like checking things off a list to build your teams, right? And then you're in like the flow state and it actually feels kind of like mildly euphoric until some like crazy RNG happens and then you lose and then you drop your 40 streak and now you're just mad.
Oh yeah, I definitely have days where like as soon as I lose, like I snap back to reality and it's like I start stressing out and stuff. But like the rest of the day, I'll be on like 100+ streak and just vibing.
Yo, for sure. So before we end, anybody you want to shout out and anything like that?
Shout out to Platty because I love Platty.
Love Platty too.
Lucy and me.
Lucy and me. All right, that's it. All right. I don't know. I'm terrible at like ending my videos, so I'm just gonna hit end on the record.